One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to the news. To present, my name is Henry Himonde. A look at the top stories in our news. $2.5 million injected into the Chofita Mwala mining in Chipangali district. State security raid Ufanyama's Sondela area to curb illegal charcoal burning. And Mumba district heightens animal disease control measures. Plus, Champundu Primary School gets modern infrastructure. The news in detail. Over $2.5 million has been injected into Chofita Mwala Mining Limited in Chipangali district, which has been operating over a period of 3 years. The mining specializes in granite that helps to produce various materials, including tombstones and pavers, among others. The company that works with Rustic Stone Limited in Lusaka produces over 4,000 cubes per year, which sell at $100 per cube, and has 75 workers. More in the following report.
Safety, development and protection of the Zambian people is prioritized before any action is taken, especially in the mining sector. Eastern Province Minister Peter Piri toured Chofita Mwala mining in Chipangali district and is happy with the development of the mining activity, but expresses concern with the local benefits.
Basically, what we need is not to deprive of our local people in terms of benefit towards our resources that we have. So we want at least our people to get a larger chunk of the proceeds of this mine. So I'm very much happy to come here, and we expect to work together with the owners of the mines, the local community and the royal establishment.
Mineral processing licenses, safety boots and glasses are some of the prerequisites needed for any mining company operations.
Some few things that I've just observed which are wrong, which is more like they don't have a processing license, and the quick action that we have just given now here is we have advised the company that they should start processing. The total employment according to the locals is just about 75 to 70.
And Chief Chanje of the Chewa people in Chipangali district says the investments in his chiefdom will lead to development.
So bwelakwa yamikire kuti mwina vuto iyi bantu twatandiza kuti asebenzemo masuka. We know our area yaziwika kambaka amene wazatu amene watitandizira kuno. Nzambiri zemena zatichitira, nzambiri marayi tokorepa enda kudala kuja kuchipatala, kuli school, kuja mwita, mabozi, watutandizira ine, ndine chita so spearhead, upita mamizi mujano yanganira, bozi wenda matipasa.
The challenge is, however, lack of electricity in the area.
Right now we are suffering because of the power supply issue. You know, at the beginning we can make some money. For first year we can make some money, but then the diesel price increase. And also, because of COVID, international market, they push down our price a lot. Transport cost is charged by dollar, also going up. So second year, up to now, we are almost at break-even point. So that's why we're pushing ZESCO give us power. Then we can have more products, then at least to reduce our cost.
The conflict between the mining company and residents is currently being resolved for all to benefit. Reporting for Zanis in Chipata, Jubel Zulu.
And in Northwestern Province, Gladwell Ngoma reports that as the country modifies its farmer input support program to the intended comprehensive agriculture support program, various stakeholders have continued making submissions to help the country develop a more comprehensive and effective program.
Zambia has continued seeing the revision of policies under the agriculture sector, with the latest being the intended modification of the Farm Input Support Program, FISIP, to a more inclusive agriculture support program. As the government weighs the future of FISIP, various stakeholders have taken keen interest to advise the state on some key issues to be considered under the intended agriculture support program. An organization capacity building consultant, Dr. George Msonda, has called for the implementation of the window of policy, which should be enhanced through a strong extension service system.
Government needs to win people out of this physics, which has in a way become a big problem because some people have abused it, some have just used it within the circles of their families, and the most vulnerable are not even supported. So there must be a very clear, again, identification of who are qualified to access agricultural support, who are qualified and who are not qualified. And this is where, again, the agricultural extension officers come in. So if you have a very strong, well-established agricultural extension service system at village level, at community level, so to speak, then you will have less abusive incursions within the so-called physics kind of arena.
Chief Chisela, through his spokesperson Lapson Samora, has called for the inclusion of irrigation systems to the Farmer Input Support Program.
Irrigation will help our people. Look at our rivers that we have. They have a lot of waters that just goes, the water that just goes to waste. So we can be trapping that water and use it for irrigation, and that will improve the economy of our people and the economy of our country.
The traditional leader has, on the other hand, implored government to establish Zambian-owned companies for the manufacturing of farming inputs, especially the seed ones.
We are not supposed to depend so much on foreign companies that can disappoint us any day they feel. Because one day they can come up and say, we are no longer going to continue producing seed because it's not profitable to us. It's non-profitable. So we are stopping, and Zambia will be disappointed because these are the people who are controlling the agriculture. So Zambia must come up with only companies that are producing seed. By doing that, they are also going to reduce on prices. Because when you look at the seed that we are buying from private companies are too expensive. You are buying it at 500 kwacha, which cannot even finish a rima.
Reporting for Zanis in Mufumbo district, I'm Glad Wongom.
And in Western Province, government has called for localization of bilateral relations between Zambia and Angola in Shangombo and Rivungu districts, respectively. Shangombo District Commissioner Muvita Siamana says there is need for regular engagements at lower levels to enhance trade between the two countries. Mr. Siamana was speaking when his Angola counterpart from Rivungu, Wilson Joao Chimbinde, paid a courtesy call to facilitate improved and secure transportation between the two countries. Kasweka Sakaimbo has the details.
Crossing the Shangombo-Rivungu Canal is the only legal passage between Shangombo on the Zambian side and Rivungu district in Angola. However, it has been difficult, time-consuming and dangerous to cross to both sides using canoes and smaller boats. It is for this reason that governments of Zambia and Angola are in talks to introduce a much bigger boat that will not only guarantee safety passage, but also promote security and tourism between the two countries.
We did communicate to the provincial administration, informing them about the upcoming. They are very much aware. So we are looking forward to hearing this that you have brought for us, and we'll be able to communicate back to you. And I want to encourage this kind of interaction. We have to keep on meeting, exchanging, in enhancing our bilateral relations between the two countries.
Angolan Rivungu District Administrator Wilson Joao Chimbinde calls for enhanced commercial trade and tourism between the two countries. Coming in of the boat will facilitate safe passage along the canal, hence the call and promotion of coming in of tourists from both countries.
Necessitate on the flow movement of goods, people taking goods to Angola. The economy also will be boosted because of transportation of the water, because of the large vessel, the nature of the vessel.
The two counterparts take time for a test cruise on the boat, which will be launched at a much later stage after necessary procedures. Kasweka Sakaimbo reporting, Shangombo District.
Meanwhile, a combined team of senior government officers and state security have raided Lufwanyama's Sondela area to curb rampant illegal charcoal burning in Chief Mukutuma's chiefdom on the Copperbelt province. Lufwanyama District Commissioner Justin Mwalikwa, who led the team, said the operation was necessitated by numerous reports of illegalities ranging from charcoal burning to land encroachments by some community members in the area. Agrippa Silumbwe gives us more in the following report.
Lufwanyama is among the top 3 districts with the highest forest reserve on the Copperbelt province. The district accounts for over 24,000 hectares of national forest reserve, but the rapid rate at which trees are being depleted is worrying. Charcoal production is cited to be one of the main drivers of deforestation and land encroachment here. To this effect, government officers have raided Londela area, where this illegal activity is reported to be rampant in Chief Muktuma's chiefdom.
As district administration, we are really touched and we want to put this to a close. A very big area has been cut for the sole purpose of charcoal burning. People do not reason that charcoal burning is depleting our forest. There are a lot of kilns. Some of them they are already alight and some of them have just been covered. I can just urge our residents here and the traditional leaders to follow the law.
And Forestry Department is calling for more support in the protection of this natural resource.
We are here on the ground, we've seen the way, how rapid they are cutting down their trees. So if they continue, if we leave this situation to continue, then we'll be doomed as Lufwanyama as well.
Carbon emissions and land degradation are likely to be reduced if traditional charcoal production is discouraged in the country. Reporting, I'm Agrippa Silumbwe.
Back to Western Province, 63 small and medium enterprises in Kalabo Central Constituency in the district in Western Province have benefited from the loan scheme project amounting to 3.2 million kwacha under the 2022 Constituency Development Fund. Kalabo Central Member of Parliament Chinga Miutu handed over the check to Kashitu Market in Kalabo district. Details in the following report.
At least 63 small and medium enterprises in Kalabo Central Constituency in Kalabo Western Province have benefited from the loan scheme project amounting to 3.2 million kwacha under the 2022 Constituency Development Funds. Kalabo Central Member of Parliament Chinga Miutu, during the presentation of the check at Kalabo's Kashitu Market, disclosed that Kalabo Town Council has also dispensed over 7 million kwacha towards the grants, skills training, and tuition fees in the constituency.
We are going to disperse a total of 3,200,000 kwacha, 1,881,932 kwacha 04 ngwe under the grant scheme, secondary school bursary, amounting to about 2,929,800 kwacha. Skills development bursary support, amounting to 2,455,100 kwacha.
Beneficiaries of the loans, grants and skills training program, spoken to in an interview, expressed gratitude towards government for the provision of the funds.
Baitumira kwa New Dawn government.
Fine. They need to apply. I need to apply. About what 24? Exactly.
I really thank the New Dawn government for this opportunity that they brought to us, the youths of Kalabo.
Speaking at the same function, Kalabo National Savings and Credit Bank Manager NatSave Monica Banda thanked government for entrusting the institution with the responsibility of managing CDF funds in the district.
We would like to sincerely thank the government of the Republic of Zambia for entrusting their confidence in the bank NatSave.
Kalabo Town Council Secretary Kamanta Mpongo urged the loan beneficiaries to ensure that they use the loans acquired as intended.
My appeal to the beneficiaries and those who are yet to receive: invest the money in the projects that you had applied for.
The function was also attended by UPND Chairperson Samuel Masie, District Chairman David Nyundo, District Commissioner Msango Njamba, Constituency Development Chairperson Liato Kabindama, heads of government departments and parastatals, and members of the community, respectively. Tinambere for Zanis News, Kalabo District, Western Province.
From Kalabo, we move to Chisamba, where Area Member of Parliament Chushika Sanda says government is impressed that some empowerment funds given to individual youths and youth cooperatives in the district have started yielding positive results. Ms. Kasanda, who is also Information and Media Minister, says government alone cannot run the economy, hence the involvement of youths in economic activities. Here are the details.
It is one of the success stories from the government empowerment funds. 40 youths from the Youth Agency for Change Cooperative in Chisamba District accessed 720,000 grant from the Ministry of Youth and Sport. The youths have ventured into fish farming with a startup of 10,000 fingerlings.
Atakasabika mukakwata akasabikamu kafinga linganga mukakwata abana 700 one finger in 700 so 10,000 we are expecting 7 million yes. So na mwamu na 7 million kutuma fish pond right ukutarife sana alright natuchepa because our aim ngakusombola watu ebiro kwebati 6 months yakura but yes yapati samwe liri kurusana licha ni 8 to 9 months nifyakura sana 1 kg ndichimo nishakumana but if we ngiri ne mono basomra 6 months so no our plan therefore ya office tuombere chapa so that ma cooperative no kusamba tukwate ma fish pond yayo so that na nishitoambo kusapura hesabi yali ba demand.
The youths have also ventured into agriculture. Cooperative Secretary Obert Mulenga has thanked government and encouraged other youths to take advantage of the empowerment funds.
We applied the 710,000. We were given installments. Yes. Anyway, in Darama, first we received it was 300,000. Yes, after Twashi went to Imbama ball, first we contracted with 2 balls. This ball is another one. Yes, and now it has by size, but Panga audit. To receive the second fund, so we became the best in all Africa. Oh, yes. By the UN. Yeah, so Tsamba district we are in the at a good record. Second fund, Mama Waya na Findi Fiashara. The last fund we are given Kustamo, Kamoto Kwebati, Madam Karapirama Finger na Mweve in the mountain evaluation, transport management, Charlie Tuamukira.
Information and Media Minister Chushika Sanda has inspected the project and is impressed with the youths.
Well, this is a job well done, I must say. Your innovation is really wonderful because I think a lot of youths in Chisamba got a lot to learn from yourself. Because there's a lot that is happening with our youths today. They're into different vices which they shouldn't be in. But to see youths take up this initiative, I think is very, very encouraging. And I'm glad that you want to work with the cooperatives in Chisamba. You were just telling me that you're looking at about 700 cooperatives to work with, which is a very big number to achieve. But I'm sure you are determined to achieve that your goal. And this is office, Council Chairperson's office, my office, will give you all the support that we can.
14 youths from Kaputi and Mututu have thanked government for helping them acquire skills in driving. Chininga reporting for Zanis in Chisamba.
We continue with the news. Senior Chief Sailunga of the Lunda-speaking people in Mwinilunga district in Northwestern Province has called on the Electoral Commission of Zambia to consider delimiting Mwinilunga constituency into 3 constituencies. Chief Sailunga says delimiting the constituency into 3 is in order to accelerate development through Constituency Development Fund. Speaking in an interview with Zanis at his palace, the traditional leader said the current CDF allocation will not realize its purpose owing to the vastness of the constituency, hence the need to split it into 2 more constituencies. And a Mwinilunga resident, Andrew Kamalata, echoed the chief's call to have the constituency split into 3 as the only district will get an equal share of the national cake. Mr. Kamalata says once the constituency is split, there will be increased economic activity in the district, with people having enough finances as a result of working for various projects that will be going on. Mumbwa District Veterinary Office has heightened the animal disease control measures by way of foot bath and wheel spray at Nalusanga checkpoint. Mumbwa District Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator Betha Kasanga says the exercise is meant to control animal diseases which could have been carried by vehicles or passengers. Details in the following report.
Government has put up diverse methods aimed at combating livestock diseases in the country. In Mumbwa District, the Department of Veterinary is spraying vehicles and providing foot baths to passengers to avoid the spread of diseases. Dr. Betha Kasanga is the coordinator for the Department of Fisheries and Livestock.
This side we have a station which is allowed to move live animals. They are supposed to be tested before they can be allowed to move. So our officers at this station, they check those documents. Are the documents in order? Were the animals tested and do they have a movement permit? If that is in order, then they are allowed to move. So we are also using this checkpoint as a sensitization area.
While the exercise is yielding results, Dr. Kasanga has an appeal for the government.
Our appeal to the government is that they would consider putting a wheel back here, because we are seeing so many trucks, so many buses passing here. So if we had a wheel back, it will help with properly disinfecting the vehicles that are going through this checkpoint.
Meanwhile, the people in the area have welcomed the control measures of the government.
It's very important that because we need to have to make sure that the animals are free, and also because the disease is also serious for human health. So control measures are very important in all areas and all steps, especially with our livestock.
Compliance with officers is supreme if animal diseases are to be controlled. Krugas Yankuru, Zanis, Mumbwa.
In Northern Province, Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development Elias Mubanga says government is committed to promoting entrepreneurship by empowering cooperatives. Mr. Mubanga reaffirmed government's commitment when he visited Kasakalawe multi-purpose cooperatives in Kasama district, which is specialized in the production of fingerlings. Sylvia Zulu has more in the following report.
Fish farming is becoming a huge part of the agricultural sector in Northern Province due to the availability of water bodies and a conducive environment for fingerling production. And these women of Kasakalawe Multipurpose Cooperative in Kasama are contributing to the aquaculture subsector through fingerlings and fish production. Their contribution to the sector is what has prompted Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise, Elias Mubanga, to tour the facility to appreciate their work.
With the participation of the women, and this is what this government is emphasizing, we want to empower the women, and women, this is good. I was impressed what we're doing. In this sector, fingerling, it's very, very important, because this is where production starts in fish farming. So we want to encourage you that all the challenges that you may have, We've seen how far you've gone. As government will come in and give you support.
Mr. Muvanga was accompanied to the area by Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao and Kasama District Commissioner Elizabeth Goma.
This is something that is going to help us go a step further. We have got plenty of water as Northern Province, and we know we can feed the nation. We can feed the region as well.
We have 20 women and we have only 4 men. This is an encouragement to other women out there to come together and form a cooperative.
Kasakalabwe Multipurpose Cooperative Chairperson Felix Mlenga and some of the members had this to say.
Some certain challenges, more especially about electricity interruption, because catfish are sensitive.
Reporting for Zanis, Sylvia Zulu in Kasama District.
Southern Province Assistant Secretary Edson Nachimwenda has reaffirmed government's commitment to localize public health services to prevent outbreaks of both communicable and non-communicable diseases. And Southern Province Health Director Karista Kayunga says the Ministry of Health has put in place measures to ensure the community has easy access to quality health care, especially mental health. We have more in this report by Gift Banji.
It is said a health nation is a wealth nation because a health people can be productive and contribute to the country's development agenda. That is why government is keen to take health care services closer to the people.
With the government decentralization policy of providing adequate quality, affordable health services as close as possible to the individuals, family and communities.
Government also wants citizens to develop health habits.
There is still need for more concerted effort from stakeholders to further prevent, control and manage the spread of both communicable and non-communicable diseases.
For Southern Province Health Director, Dr. Karitas Kayunga, mental health is another condition of public health concern.
Mental disease is very different from mental health. So mental health should be provided at almost all platforms and starting at a very tender age so that we begin to groom a healthy society where our children begin to comprehend and understand.
The community members in Choma appreciate what government is doing in providing universal health coverage.
That we are able as men and women, boys and girls of Choma, to see that actually around us and within us, actually within reach, we have such facilities which are very much available.
Gift Banji, Zanis in Choma District, Southern Province.
Now, Chief Nkambo of the Lamba people in the Copperbelt Province has commended the Zambia Flying Doctor Service for conducting outreach programs in Masaiti District. The traditional leader observed that the outreach program is helping his subjects seek specialized services within reach. Here are the details.
Zambia Flying Doctor Service has reinforced human resource to enhance service delivery to the remote parts of the country. Chief Executive Officer Dr. George Nguni introduced the new personnel that has joined the team. The service has also launched Operation Restore Rural Health, which will take off on Thursday this week in 4 provinces. The operation will target to provide health services to about 3,000 rural dwellers on monthly basis and over 1,000 on a yearly basis.
We are here as Zambia Flying Doctor Service to ensure that we supplement government's effort in providing health care in the rural and hard parts to reach parts of Zambia. So with 2 aircrafts, we'll be able to send multiple teams for outreaches, as well as to send our aircrafts to do medical evacuations. So in order for us not to just depend on people calling us that there's an emergency and you need to evacuate, we want to be proactive and follow our patients deep in the rural areas. So this week we are launching an operation of restoring rural health, and we are sending concurrent 4 teams to go and do outreaches. 1 in Western Province, we'll have 1 in Eastern Province, 1 in Chinga Province, and 1 in the rural part of the Copper Belt. So because we have a good number now of pilots, we've got a good number of medical doctors. Each medical doctor is going to lead a team, and of course there will be other disciplines like dental and eye sections and all other specialists if need be. Whenever it comes to specialist treatment, we'll go to the Ndola Teaching Hospital and get supplementary staff. So here we are here to witness the joining of so many doctors with us, as well as our pilots, so as to enhance the provision of health services in the rural and hard-to-reach parts of Zambia.
Mary Chola for Zanis News.
Inadequate classroom space has continued to be a problem in most schools in the country, especially those located in rural areas. However, the Constituency Development Fund is cushioning the problem, as most schools are now benefiting in terms of infrastructure. Mtinta Mwemba reports that the first ever 1x3 classroom block has been built at Champundu Primary School in Kasenengwa district at a cost of over 300,000 kwacha using the 2022 CDF allocation and has been handed over.
This incomplete building was the only structure catering for learners at Champundu Primary School in Kasenengwa district. With a total enrollment of 644 learners, this setup was far from being conducive for both the learners and teachers. But the situation has turned around following the construction of a 1x3 classroom block using the 2022 Constituency Development Funds. Kasenengwa Member of Parliament Philemon Twasa has since handed over the structure to the school.
Kuno kwatu ku Kasenengwa district tili ndi mavuto ambiri mwanga district ili yonse muno Mzambia tina mavuto ambiri amasukulu ndiponso kamba ka free education yamene iliko bana mu masukulu bapakirako lelo kwa ine mwanga area member of parliament ndinokondwera kwambiri pa umwayi wapadera kupana makusogolo kwanu kuno kuti tonse tinkhale pamozi kusegula skulu yathu ya Champundu ndiponso kuipasa kwa imwe 1x3.
The recipients of the project are grateful to government.
We are very happy, we appreciate for that. And this is not the only school in Kasenengwa district. We have a lot of schools that have no infrastructure. Therefore, we will still appeal to the government so that they can also consider these other schools.
The community has been warned against vandalism.
Chintu chabwino chophunzirirapo chosambesana ulesi koma tisamale sazona vana lombo yambokwera mawindo veno mabwera masoverera pamene apa lombo ikaika vintu yayi makolo athandizeni maticha ayi chifukwa maticha okha sanga kwanise nchito yani mwa makolo mtithandizira ayi.
The classroom block has also been connected to solar power to enable the learners have adequate time for studies. Zanis reports in Kasenengwa district.
Finally, in the news, Chipata District Commissioner Elida Banda has called for enhanced participation of youths in efforts to address moral decay. Mrs. Banda said youths need to desist from engaging in illicit activities and concentrate on productive initiatives in order to contribute to the country's social and economic development. The district commissioner said this at the launch of a youth-driven initiative dubbed Question and Answer Initiative funded by Save the Children. Mpaso Dibani has more in this report.
As a fast-growing city, Chipata has had an equal measure of fast-growing numbers of youth engaging in illicit activities such as drug abuse and prostitution. In view of this, Chipata District Commissioner Elida Banda has called on youth to refrain from the vices and engage in creating initiatives that promote their well-being.
As you may be aware, is that a lot of youths nowadays, they have engaged themselves in wrong things, beer drinking, prostitution if it's the girls. So with the voice from the youths that have come together, I believe since it's going to be coming from their fellow youths, they'll be able to refrain from some of these devices.
Meanwhile, authors of an advocacy-based question and answer initiative have underscored the rationale for their project.
And what really inspired me was the engagements I had with CSPR. Since 2017 to 2021, I've been engaged in a lot of activities done by CSPR under Save the Children, which really was a great impact for me. So I decided for others to benefit as well. Just like I benefited, I wanted the community which are vulnerable to benefit from the program as well.
And Save the Children Provincial Coordinator Ryan Ngambilani has lauded the concept developers and has urged other youths to emulate them.
I work with Save the Children on the Civil Society Strengthening Program, the CEDA CSO. What I think is that young people can. Basically, that sums up my thinking around the launch we just had today of the question and answer initiative. Why am I saying young people can? We are seeing an opportunity where young people themselves are taking action to making a difference on issues that affect them.
According to the Times of Zambia newspaper, in 2021, 205 people in Eastern Province were prosecuted for drug abuse-related offences. Reporting for Zanis News, Patso Dimbani, in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Mpaso Dimbani's report brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, let's take another look at the top stories in our news. $2.5 million injected into the Chofita Mwala mining in Chipangali district. State security raid Ufanyama's Sondela area to curb illegal charcoal burning. And Mumbwa district heightens animal disease control measures. Plus, Champundu Primary School gets modern infrastructure. That is all we had packaged for you on Zanis News. Remember to join us again tomorrow at the same time for another edition. On behalf of the entire news production crew, I'm Henry Himonde. Goodbye.